Hello and welcome to this very special conversation. We're happy to be joined today by superstar Sudeep, fresh from the release of his latest film, Vikrant Rona. Now, of course, it has come out in Kannada. You're an absolute massive star here, and it's come out in many other languages as well. It's been a few days now. Are you happy with the initial response? Is it what you had hoped for?
Yeah, it's very encouraging and it's very overwhelming to see the response. And because, as I told you, it's not a very ambitious, typical, cliche kind of a film. It's a film of a different kind. Initiative we all took to say something new as a content. And today, when we see the responses, the mammoth response that we're getting from all across all states, it's overwhelming actually. Very, very satisfying.
Okay, and I think the production cost was maybe around 95 crores or something. And
approximately, I guess.
And that's back. That's already back.
Yeah, see, see, this one as a capital investment, we were not worried about that because we would safeguard our film. That's not the point.
Yes.
The point is about the effort which has gone behind the money. That needs the results. So the just the revenue part is not something that's going to make us happy when we make a film of this sort. I guess if you're just making a commercial film, just fights. I mean, like, they are also not wrong. When I mean it, I don't mean to be sarcastic. I mean to say when we do a regular kind of a film. So that is where our investments are are under scanners. That's the main priority.
That's when the box office is really important.
Yeah, so it's important here also, but I guess there our attention is towards that, not towards the responses. So we know the responses may be okay, not so okay, but the openings to the durability of the film in theaters is what we're going to be looking at for the capital returns. And that's when we say, okay, we invested 10 and we got 25. Or we invested 10 and so, okay, this is the things. And so those films are made even for them. That's not wrong either. But this was not of that kind. So I guess
you wanted the response from the viewers. So,
it's an attempt. No, it's an attempt to go in-depth detailing of the script and per se. So I guess that way people have acknowledged the minute detailing of the film. So, which is not forced. I can't force it there, sitting in the theater, trying to tell you, please put a zoom lens into my film and keep observing everything, follow everything.
Did you see that?
So, yeah, so once they are coming and identifying every bit of it, I guess that is what makes you feel like, okay, fine, I mean, we're glad we did it.
We've had the smash hit recently of KGF 2, All India, we've had RRR, Pushpa. Was there an extra pressure on you? I'm sure there is anticipation ahead of the release of any film, but was there extra pressure on you this time? It's another South film which is going to be big.
There were questions that were raised, like in comparison to the returns.
Yes.
The figures these films touched. So there were comparisons, but I have replied to all of them saying that, see, I do not take that as a pressure, but neither can a film be compared, any film be compared. See, like RRR also, only after it released did it make that kind of money. Okay, where KGF 2, only after releasing it made that kind of money. But again, RRR had a brand called Rajamouli and KGF 2 had a brand called KGF already. So Vikrant Rona came without a brand. It only had familiar faces of only mine.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess I can't even say that in Pan-India except Eager or anything, that I will not say that I had released anything of that bigger kind, volume film, for me to say I'm coming in as a brand. So probably we build that brand as in when we go, and we will have one day to say that, okay, this is the film which has brands of that equities. So today we went there, and I guess we just wanted to make our content talk, and we'll draw things later because see, nothing can be compared, ma'am. Every film is of a different genre. Every film has got its own potentials. You know, I guess in that way, and we didn't even hike up the prices for this a lot for the tickets and other things. So we were well within the parameters of what we wanted to do. So yeah, we are happy with what we are getting, and we are happy that it is getting a recognition. So over the period of time, yeah, we will also carry brands, and we can probably sit across and have these questions of being pressurized. What is the pressure all about, man? I mean, it doesn't matter. It really, our team or me, in person, I'm not somebody to go under pressures because of all these things. I think if RRR did well, it's because they have done everything to deserve that. If KGF 2 has done well, I think they have given years to a project called KGF. Forget KGF 2.
Yes.
KGF 1, and from the time they started, I think over some 6, 7 years, 8 years they've spent into that film.
So it's really built up.
So I guess over the period of 8 years, it's a lot of investment on that, as a physical investment, mental mind, heart, soul. So they got what they deserved. I think it's happy. I'm happy that they got. Otherwise, after so many years of investment of life, if nature wouldn't have given you that, I think it's a very demotivating for any talents. I think they deserved it today, and they're all enjoying their lives.
Investment of life is right. It's not just the money, it's the effort and the talent and the
8
time.
8 years, it's not a joke. Just imagine if Bahubali had not done well. It's sad. It's sad to see an actor and director and families going through that for about so many years, and then you just back to square one and nothing happened at all. So that means there's so much of belief that goes in.
The labor that goes into a film, the number of people involved, the number of livelihoods.
See, what happens, especially actors and the technical department and the production. See, they are pinning up on hope on this film, and they're spending years, and suddenly your whole belief system crashes if things don't work out. See, we also invested time in this, but not to the level of Bahubali or KGF or, we have spent, and I think because of COVID, we spent a little more time. But I think I guess I'm very happy with the outcome, what is happening.
Okay, yes. It was a huge release also, thousands of screen release abroad as well. Do you feel that has paid off in terms of everywhere? It was everywhere.
I don't know whether it is paid off, but I know the responses that's coming in is very encouraging. So I guess over a matter of time, my producer will sit across all the charts, and we'll see the returns, and then we will see where we stand.
And of course, there has been a lot of debate about whether there is such a thing as South cinema being different from Bollywood cinema, being different from others. This is essentially a film from here, from the Karnataka film industry. You've released it everywhere. What do you feel will make it appeal to people not from here, to people elsewhere? What is the core of it?
The content. So the moment you come, the technical department has done a great job. So it's in par with any Hollywood film. And as a content, I guess it's very fresh and it's very new to everybody. So see, I guess when we are traveling from here to other states or any other language, we can't carry a stardom, ma'am. So because I'll tell you why. If I try to tell that, a big actor's film is coming, I'm sorry, but they have big actors in their states also. They will say, oh, he's a big actor, big star. Okay, we have so and so equal. Yeah, big and bigger maybe. And so what is it that we can talk about in the neighboring states? Your stardom doesn't help you there.
Has to be the film.
Your content is what you're going to take and penetrate into other systems and make them look at you once at least. And that is when other people, other states also, the big names and the stars or the bigger technicians will look into your film and say, wow, this has come from this industry and they've done a great job.
And interestingly enough, you've also got the support of big stars from the neighboring states as well. You have Surya,
I guess it's an earning of ours over the journey, over the period of time. I guess we all have mutually started respecting each other. So I guess it's a matter of time, and today we all react to good films.
Okay.
We recognize each other's attempt to make newer films.
It's a kind of community really, because with other stars from other languages supporting this film as well.
See, because by the end of the day, we also as actors from here, when we look into the big films that's coming from elsewhere, we do recognize whether it is running on stardom or whether it's running on a content. Because if it's running on a bare stardom, why will it appeal to us? Yeah,
because would not know
he's a big name, he's a big name, he's a big film, big director, big fans. We may only say, wow, what a following, that hardcore fans.
Yes.
But when we hear a film like, okay, this and so people have made a film and you should see the film, it's an outstanding content. We give it special attention, and even the stardom helps at that moment of that particular actor. And I guess your whole perspective of looking at the cinema changes. Yeah, so I guess when we go in, ma'am, a baggage of stardom is not something that's going to appeal anybody anywhere else.
It's not a guarantee. It's no guarantee.
It won't, because as I'm trying to tell you, like if we go to Andhra and say, a big actor is a big following from Karnataka, he's come, man, they also have very big stars. Why will that one line appeal to them? You go to Tamil Nadu, you go to Malayalam, you go to Hindi.
So it has to be.
And it's the same here, right? It's the same here. If some other bigger name is coming, why will it appeal to our audiences? It will appeal if that man has tried something and that is being spoken about.
Absolutely.
Like for example, recently also, See, we all adore Mr. Kamal Hassan, but the moment a small thing of Vikram came and they said, no, actually the screenplay is very good, you should see it. So there is something that appealed. It was not just him alone. See, we know that he's a brilliant actor. He doesn't need to prove again and again and again. But the moment somebody spoke about, sir, I think you should see, sir, the director's done a great job and the screenplay of the film is very good, it's very grippy. We all wanted to see it. Because of certain sellable
not
lines.
just for Kamal Hassan, but for what the content is.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to tell your viewers, your fans of course will anyway flock to see the film, but if you were to tell other people who have not yet seen it, why they should see it, why should they go to
I'm sure they already got the news as to why they should see it now. And I'm somebody who would like to do that rather than force and say, please watch.
Okay.
I'm sure because today, I think from past 2 days, the word of mouth that is picked up and people who are coming in and everybody taking an initiative to post it online and share their opinions is something that is happening voluntarily and we have not bribed it. So I guess I will leave it at that. I'll leave it at that because I would like all of them to go watch my film, yes. But I would like them to go on their own if they heard something new about anything. Maybe the technical aspect or the content aspect. If there is a neighbor of yours or a friend of yours coming and trying to tell you, watch it one, it's great. I think that is where I feel it's a successful film and I think we stand there today.
That word of mouth?
Yeah.
The spreading of the...
You can't bribe
go
it.
And see it.
You can't bribe it.
You can't.
You can't bribe it.
You've had Jacqueline Fernandez, of course, in the film, adding a bit of glamour, a bit of that whole item number as well. How much difference did she make?
Lots. I mean, on a screen especially. See, we wanted her to make a difference on screen, not on the business level. So that was not even a perspective at all. So for us to even have a chat about it, on screen she is Jacqueline. I mean, what can I even say that whether she made a difference? We wanted the difference. That's why we brought her. It's very simple. So she brought in a difference. No. If she comes, it will be a different one because she's a very fine actress, very good looking. And she has a huge fan following and she's fantastic in dancing and we wanted for her for the song and other thing. I think she's done a great job.
Yes, that song has also been noted for its choreography and the whole presentation, Johnny, the way it is.
He's done a great job. Johnny Master's done a great job.
Absolutely. And Salman Khan, of course, his involvement was there, his support.
You're very close. He's more a family.
You're very close.
Yeah, he's more a family to me and his support will always be there. And there's nothing that I can say other than being thankful and showing my love to him always. I guess that's what we all share by the end of the day. And SKF coming in was a mammoth strength and they've been very kind to us.
You also share other things as well apart from a sense of brotherhood. You had a similar film, the same film actually releasing, boosting your respective careers. You're both big boss hosts. There are lots of other things in common as well.
We do. Somehow, it all matches up. It all matches up somehow. We all keep doing the same things.
You mentioned Rajamouli. He himself has said something very nice to you about the film.
Yeah, and he also had a very beautiful line, who's Bhaskar? Where's Bhaskar? There's a guy called, the myth character called Bhaskar that keeps coming in. See, I love the fact that being such a big technician, he makes time for all good films and goes and watches it between crowd.
Yeah.
So it's not that we are making shows, arrangements for him to see. He takes that initiative, which is very, very, very beautiful as a technician. And it is very nice for us to hear that he went between crowd with the family. They went and saw the film.
That is so nice. It's a sense of community.
And community. See, the first thing is, even before seeing the film, he tweeted saying that it's a great attempt. It's a new attempt. So I think that was now when he tweeted, when he said that it's a nice attempt that you invested on. It's a new line, and see, I guess as a technician, he knows where I'm because he's worked with me. He understands that bit of me, that side of me where why I did this film.
Okay.
So it was not as I told you, he understands that it is not an ambitious one trying to make a film to outbeat certain films that's been doing today.
Yes, okay, yes.
Yeah, so he understands where we are coming from.
It's what you are doing for yourself, by yourself, not in terms of...
As an actor, we all want to tell a certain time, certain stories. And certain times we can't tell that story. We can tell anything but that story. So when we get an opportunity to do what we want to do, I guess technicians like him identify that, and when they put in few kind words online into the society, I guess it's a very encouraging one.
Absolutely. And you spoke about the technical achievements of the film. It's in 3D, it's larger than life, and it's great production values. That must have been hugely important to you as well.
Yes, of course. Production values is what is going to go across as an invitation, first of all. if the production values fail, I guess there's nothing that I or you can sit across and have a chat today about. So that means we failed. So the intention may be great, but the production failed, right? So here it doesn't mean that way. Here the intentions were right, the productions were right, production values were right, technical department is superb, and the outcome is fantastic. So I guess everything fell in place. You know, we all say, that we all set out on a journey. Whatever the intentions are and whatever the reason is, nature conspires. So I personally believe that whatever it is, your nature should support you on certain things, and this time I think nature stood by us amidst COVID, amidst everything, amidst all the traffic of cinema releases. Nature did stand by us in all way. From past 4 years it's been standing by us. So I guess it's a very beautiful thing. There's a lot of piracy invasion that happened.
Yes.
Yet people are still going to the theatres, and people are still watching in theatres because they identify that there's a huge loss if you just sit across at home and watch it on a television. You want to go.
This is a big screen experience.
Yeah, so you
it's a fantasy. The whole.
Certain times, it's certain films are like those good pictures of good food. How much ever you see that picture in the phone, you're not going to be feeling, right?
It's not the same.
It's a picture of a good dish what you like to have, but I think you should order it and eat it to feel it. So like a good film like of this scale is an experience. An experience can only be felt the way it is supposed to. You cannot feel it sitting at home on a mobile phone, and so I guess that way we fell in place.
That works. And the production values, everything done right, but you had the pandemic to face. It must have made a huge difference. It must have made a huge impact on your shooting, on everything that was going on.
We were the first to go on floor after the pandemic, and but yet I guess we had our scary moments. We had our fears, but I guess that only made us become better, have better protocols, take better precautions, and move ahead with proper discipline. And we were on place.
On place, and I hear that your the forest in which much of it is set, you had to keep that going during the time you couldn't shoot. What was that like?
Yeah, plants die, so we had to make sure. We are all very plant lovers, and it was very inhuman to let it die. So we had positioned few people to take care of it, even when we are not shooting. It had to keep coming to the light, water it, and again go back. So we could save maximum. We have saved, and so that was actually kind of getting delicate for all of us. And there are bigger trees in set which is like artificial, but all the leaves are real because we had planted original trees into that plants to make it look. So those plants in those artificial trees needed to be taken care of. So we had to remove that.
And again, for a longer time than you had anticipated.
See, because what happens, bigger trees, ma'am, we can't shift it from a original plant into a set. But then if you do an artificial tree and if you keep a close-up of it, you'll know it's an artificial plant. So what we did, like suppose this is the branch, as it goes, we had made holes for pots. And we had put a pot inside and covered it up. So actual leaves, and the whole tree had original plants. And that means if one tree, all the plants had to be vacated, it's half a day effort by 10 to 15 people,
Wow.
So like a single plant, you just pop it out. But what about trees and what about things like that? So it was an effort. But I guess we had people who followed it very, very religiously, and saved all the plants, and I guess we were fine by the end.
So you kept the forest alive.
Yes, we did.
Working with Anup Bhandari, what was that like as a director? How does he differ from other directors you have worked with over the years?
Every director is different. I wouldn't draw comparisons with anyone. I think each one has got their own nuances and approaches to every script and thought and idea. Anup has got its own. He's got a mind of his own. He's got his aesthetics, right? He has certain... everybody has got their strength and flaws. He has his, both. But I guess he's a learner.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a hard-working boy, and his intentions are very clean. He's very clean by soul. So I guess that makes him a better man and better human. And as long as you're a better human, I think you can learn anything and you can achieve. It's not the volume of the achievement. It's an achievement by the end of the day. And I think he has his mind and heart in the place where it is supposed to be.
And after all these years, after all your films, some super hits, some smash hits, do you still, after all these years, feel butterflies in your stomach? Are you still anxious before a film, or have you reached a stage where
No,
it's
no,
all
I've
right?
set all the butterflies out.
You set them out.
I've set them out free in the nature, so all are flying out. So they are all they are all pleasing each one's plans and eyes. So I guess I have no butterflies left in me.
No butterflies left.
No,
Okay.
you reach a point of time where you accept the way it is. That doesn't mean
Not
you're
like in the early years when you're watching your first film or your second film, or.
Ma'am, I think earlier years are no different than these days. But I guess as you grow, you kind of step out of a very insecure zone to a more secure place. Not because your position is secured. It is because you don't fear much.
It's an internal journey.
You don't fear much, and you realize it's a film.
It's an internal journey, and you gain perspective, I guess.
So it's a film by the end of the day. Even if you gave her the biggest hit, you have to do another film. And if it doesn't do well, you have to do another film by the end of the day. So I guess there are moments with it attached. We all want to see those moments, like the film doing extremely well, and we all want to gather and party about it and spend some time happy, smiling faces that we did it. And again, get back to the norm of what is not next. Even if it is not a great going film, I think we should be happy with the fact that we tried.
And you've done it.
And then get going. So
absolutely.
That's the same.
Now, you talk about the calmness which comes with the years, with the experience. Can you explain what the fan response means to you, though, when you know that fans have loved your film?
It means a lot, and that is the only way we can exist. Yeah. So without our fans, without our friends, I guess what you do, how much ever you try, goes unanswered.
Okay.
So there's no one knocking at your door. So how do you feel? So it's not about the volume or the size of your house, and it's not the elegant door that you carry that defines your house. It's the number of hands that's knocking your door that makes your house feel more complete, isn't it?
Speaking of which, even outside now on the road, there are people waiting to catch a glimpse of you outside.
So I guess it's all those fans who knock the door every time a release is happening who makes us feel so complete. Their responses are very important, ma'am, and I think our whole existence and our whole belief systems of being loved, I think, comes from these kind of knocking hands. And they have been very consistent with their emotions through and through in so many years. And hats off to that consistency.
The critics have given mixed reviews. It's not been all positive all the way. How much impact does that have on you? Does it affect you in any way, and do you think it affects the fans?
I think we should not let even the very positive review affect us and get carried away. I guess everybody who goes into the film has got their own rights to review a film. Now, certain times when a review comes and it is negative, and even if the person has not liked it, we do see a certain amount of honesty in it. Okay. The way they have projected it, they are reasoning out why they didn't like it. And I think it's something that's a learning process, and we always have to take it on our stride. And when a person has decided to be biased, that is also very evident.
Okay.
The moment his takeoff only is very biased. I mean, he didn't like even the title card. That's how it's going to come across.
Okay.
I mean, probably he doesn't even, that reviewer doesn't even love the fact that we are existing. So it's very evident. See, when you understand the intention behind a review, either we learn or we ignore. Yeah, a review is important, and if it is coming in a right way, and see, not that every time you do a film, it has to be the best film.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there cannot be a film without a flaw. There cannot be a story without a minus. Yeah. Similarly, there cannot be a bad film alone without anything good
without any
about
redeeming quality, yes. Yeah.
There will be. It is about you. Do you have an eye to see it? Now, a good reviewer will pinpoint and tell us an explanation as to what is what. And you feel like listening to them. And you actually open up and say, yeah, we didn't think about it. We missed it.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. We'll correct it. But when a person is out to be just crushing you with a roller coaster ride of his words, we do understand the vocabularies are coming into the best knowledge and best use. Yeah. So we may be a little educated in comparison to the outstanding words they may use against us, but we do understand they are not words, they are bullets trying to be fired. Yeah. So I guess as human beings, we have spent so many years to identify that, and once you identify that, and once you identify and position that review, I guess we are okay.
You can take it.
It doesn't matter.
You can take it.
It doesn't matter. One more thing is, after the release, a review is important. I'm not going to deny that fact. But if your revenue part of the film is saying something else, like for example, there are recently released southern films. Not everywhere, not every film, whether it is KGF or RRR, not every review was fantastic. Now my question being, yeah, ma'am, you can argue with the content of the film. How do you argue with the success of the film? Figures are saying something else. It's not saying anything partially different. Right? It's a humongous mammoth difference you're talking about.
It's a huge statement being made.
It's a huge statement, and now how do you debate or argue with the success of the film? Now, in that perspective, when you see, it doesn't matter. But a good reviewer, hats off for the way they put it across to us so that we can learn. That doesn't mean we learnt and we won't do mistakes again.
Okay.
We will not repeat these mistakes.
It is.
Yeah, we will not repeat these mistakes. We'll do newer mistakes. So there will be newer reviews, newer line. So I guess if you start looking at it like that and not make everything so emotional and arguable topics, I think it's okay. We all do mistakes. The best chef makes mistakes. Isn't it?
So take the feedback and grow.
Yeah, every best director in the world cannot be so consistent that he can only deliver hits and hits and hits and hits, and with the same consistency of opinions. He may deliver 10 out back-to-back hits, but again opinions may have varied.
Yes. Nobody can be loved by everybody. No work can be appreciated by everybody.
I guess it's a matter of you whether you want to identify those lovable eyes, those soothing words that even if you went a little wrong, the person identifies your intention and then kind of taps you and says, it's okay, son, like there are mistakes over there, but then you did a great job. I guess that's what every parent does. And that way Vikrant Rona has been parented by many crores of people. So yes, ma'am, I will accept bad reviews as much as I accept a good one.
Absolutely. Will there be a sequel? I know you've been asked that many times. Are you looking at...
We do not start this Vikrant Rona with an intention of having a sequel, yes. But if it floats out and if my director has a good content, I will definitely do it. But it won't be an ambitious one because this film is doing extremely well that we're going to pull out another one and just attach a string. So right now we do not have any such things. And for me also, I think that I would like to move on with... something else something else than oscillate around one success and just trying to squeeze another lime.
Do you see this new focus, this new attention on South films, if I can call them that, from the rest of the country? Do you think it's the beginning of something, or do you think it's a flash in the pan because of some hits?
It is what it is. I would not say a beginning of something or not even a flash of a thing. Right now certain films have been doing great.
Okay.
So it's getting the attention. That doesn't mean this is a change of something. I think every cinema industry, every industry has got their own potential, and because of which they all have been surviving so many years. So that cannot be erased because of certain few films that has come from here. Neither can South be erased because of certain big hits coming from Hindi. So I think we are all okay in our positions and places.
Okay.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a matter of time before. Just a matter of time before a probable batsman who is not in form lifts his bat and scores another 100 and just comes back and records are matched again, because with that beautiful records, that player wouldn't have come this far.
So you're waiting for Virat Kohli and a big Bollywood hit.
Yes, I think it's just a matter of time. Their records speak for them. They are remembered today, and they're called legacies and legends because of what they've delivered. There will be bad phases in everybody's life, and that cannot erase. And if people are in a hurry to erase certain things, then I think you can understand their intentions too. So I think once a hero is always a hero, man.
Once a hero, always a hero, absolutely. Has OTT hit the industry hard, or has it helped it? How do you see it?
It has definitely hit. It has taken industry, and the releases have taken a beating.
Yeah. People will wait until they can see it at home.
But I also should look at the brighter side, where people are fed up of sitting at home. They just want to come out. But then, ma'am, we have to be a little careful, because they're coming out of the houses, but we are putting them into another dark room again.
Okay.
So
you have to let them escape onto the screen there.
If you're bringing them inside a dark room, you better be sure of what you show them. Otherwise, they're going to get impatient. See, why people are being so biased about certain reviews is because they're fed up of houses, and theatre is no different. Yeah, we are getting them into darker room, in fact. That's why you see malls and the streets and people, it's flooded. Businesses are going haywire everywhere, and because people are, they just want to come out.
They just want to get out and do something again with their lives.
So theatre is not get out, it's get in. So what happens, you better have something really nice so that, you know, they, okay, chalo yaar, okay, paisa vasool ho gaya abhi.
Do you think the Kannada film industry is now back after the pandemic? Has it recovered?
We are all, I think, working as different individuals, and we cannot talk on Kannada industry on the whole. But there are a lot of people who are struggling, and a lot of people who are working on it, a lot of people coming out with innovative things and structuring their thoughts in a better way. So as long as you're learning that pandemic has changed a certain process of cinema making and certain process of storytelling, and if you cannot adapt, that means you're still into trouble. If you have adapted the changes and if you understand that, and we are not going to unnecessarily get into a debate, I guess we are all okay. And I think once the system comes to understanding, I guess, you know, industry stars shall flourish together. But right now it's remaining as individual efforts.
Individual efforts, okay, all right. And speaking of industry stars, of course, the loss of Puneeth Rajkumar last year was a massive loss. Did you know him well? How did you?
Yeah, I knew him from a childhood, and I knew him very well. We have not been the greatest of the thickest of the friends, I wouldn't say, but we had a respect. We had a positioning in place. Whenever we met, I think we have only had good things to speak about each other. And then came a time when I would participate in their film things and they would participate in ours. So I guess, you know, there comes that moment, you know, like where that humongous respect comes. So I guess it is a loss. It's a huge loss for us and for the industry, and for us. It's an irreplaceable positioning for us fans. We do understand.
And a few months have passed, but I have to ask you once again about that exciting dialogue you had with Ajay Devgan about Hindi, about it not being the national language. Did you expect the kind of response that your tweets got, the kind of feedback?
I'm a man of my own mind. I will not hesitate to speak something if I feel it is right. Probably I just put it little in a way that everybody understands, and I don't want to take my Twitter so seriously and start portraying myself as a man who has great following, and my arrogance speaks not my vocabulary. Ajay Devgan sir is a gentleman, and of course he was misguided, I guess, with the certain things of I spoke, and what I spoke had a different relevance. But I guess I took on Twitter to explain to sir that he's a senior man, whatever said and done, we should respect that. But yeah, him tweeting in Hindi was something that probably they thought that we understand. Luckily we did. Thanks to Mr. Kishore Kumar ji and Amitabh Bachchan ji, who taught us how to speak and learn Hindi.
We learned how Hindi from Hindi films, yes.
Those two, especially Kishore sir and Amit sir, are my teachers. I learned Hindi because of them. I wanted to understand what Kishore sir is singing. His songs are so beautiful, and Amitabh Bachchan, we were
his dialogues,
such fans that, you know, he was our first Avenger in India.
Like, the angry young man,
he was our first Avenger. Yes. Every state would run to watch his films, whether we understood Hindi or not was not a point. Just to see him, just to go. So, kya hota na ma'am, and we learnt because of that. And then I guess after that, probably we understood his tweet. Yeah, my question was only thing that, you know, when we look at every language as ours, even if it is Hindi, ma'am, Hindi belongs to us also. It doesn't belong to a particular state. Like Kannada belongs to Karnataka, Telugu belongs to Andhra and Telangana, Tamil to Tamil Nadu, Punjabi to Punjab, Bengali to Bengal. But like that, or is however Bhojpuri, whichever you take. Hindi is a universal language, yeah. So it doesn't really, so it belongs to us also.
It belongs to everybody.
You can't really debate and say and outcast us from that language. Yeah, so we, as a Kannadiga, I was only trying to say, what if I tweeted in Kannada? Would you understand?
Yes,
so
yes.
It's a matter of respect we should give to each language of India, because every language has got its own decorum, history. No language in India is existing without a history. And no language in India is existing without its heroes. So it's a proud moment for all of them. As long as you're respecting that, I think everybody respects everything else. So that is where I was coming from.
That is where you were coming from, absolutely.
And
mutual respect, it has to be.
So I guess that is all it was. And I guess we both got our answers and we were okay with that.
You're okay? Yeah. Absolutely. Now, you're of course so versatile. We think of Sudeep, the actor, we think of the star with the releases and everything. But your world is much larger than that. You're producing, you're directing, you're a television host, you sing. Is there one part which you love more, which like, okay, today I'm getting up and I'm going to be doing this?
Yeah, cooking.
Cooking, okay, I didn't include that in the list.
I do a lot of cooking, so I enjoy my cooking when I'm not shooting. I think I do that. I do a lot of sketching. So cooking is something I do on daily basis.
What's your signature dish?
Anything. I no particular, but I cook a lot.
You experiment or you follow recipes? Or
No. I make my own.
Wow.
I make my own. I sit with people. I understand what is it that they like, and I start doing my own.
Fantastic. And sketching as well.
Yeah. More of caricatures and stuff.
So that is a good day for you when you can get up knowing that you can head to the kitchen.
I'll keep doing something. I'll not waste my day.
Fantastic. Cricket, you mentioned, you had the analogy of cricket having a bad spell in the Bollywood films. Do you have time to keep up to date with the Indian?
Yeah. I'm a cricket follower, so I love a lot of cricket. I do watch cricket and I play a lot of cricket still. Whenever we get time, we play matches. So I guess that way it goes on.
That goes on. Yes, you play cricket as well. And a dream project left for Sudeep?
Nothing. See, I will, whatever I get into is my dream project for that moment. And I guess I will keep doing my work.
Yeah.
Whichever I'm in, that is my that's my present. And I will look at it as my dream, that particular dream, and I'll go ahead with that.
A question I wonder about all huge celebrities like yourself. You don't really have a private life anymore. You belong to the people. Does it affect you at any time? Do you sometimes wish you could just walk into a restaurant?
No. I personally can speak that we have worked only for that recognition. We have worked for that love and fame that we're getting from them, that love we are getting from them, the respect, the unconditional showering of an emotion from them, though they are not blood relatives to us.
Yes.
I guess that comes with a lot of blessing from cinema and nature.
Okay.
And once you have achieved that, running away from that doesn't make sense at all. That doesn't make sense.
You reach out with your charitable work as well. Do you think that with your platform, it is very important for any?
I do not know. I don't want to generalize it. It's just my intention to do certain things, and I guess it's a social responsibility of mine because cinema and society, people have given me a lot. So not that everything is my responsibility, but what the little what I can do and I can afford to in my money, what I have, I keep doing that.
You spoke of the showering of love. It's also beginning to rain, so I'm guessing we'll have to wrap up soon. But before we go, what next for you now, or are you just taking a well-deserved break after this film? Or
no, we are working on. I don't believe in breaks and think holidays.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So we are working on it, and I guess I'll announce once it's concrete.
Okay. Thank you, Sudeep, for talking us today and sharing your experiences, and all the very best for your next ventures and the continuing success of this film. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.